Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the Realm of the Gods Super Battle Road stage and how you can beat it with no items in DBZ Dokkan Battle. Now the thing is, to cut a long story short, this was originally the hardest boss or hardest Super Battle Road stage in the game for a very long time, and the reason for that was you fought a lot of rounds against multiple types of enemies, and that's always something that poses a lot of challenges to teams, because in SBR and ESBR you can stun, you can seal, you can do all these things, but one thing you can't really control in a no item run is who gets supered. So obviously you can bring really strong units, but RNG is always an issue. And when you have 5 units, the chances of them firing super attacks is higher, and the chances of them being a type disadvantage to your team is also higher. In terms of this overall team, I've decided to go with the Realm of the Gods team that's more orientated around the kind of Vegeta Blues that we recently got easy A's for. I think they're really cool units, firstly, and I think it's just fun to do a team built around them, and just to use the Int, Super Saiyan God, SS, Goku, and Vegeta, as well as, you know, the Vegetas. I think that's a pretty fun, pretty interesting team build, and it's just something I felt like doing, which I thought would be a lot of fun to do. So yeah, that is kind of like, obviously, the premise behind the team build. Although also the Vegetas do provide a lot of utility. They provide a lot of defense lowering. One of them provides a stun. So there is a lot of additional utility they provide. Stunning, damage reduction, all that sort of stuff. Ideally, you want to bring a bit more utility for an item run, so for the ESBR I'll be bringing probably more sealing, stunning levels of control. You also want to look at evasion. Evasion is a very powerful tool in no item runs, because evasion doesn't just mitigate some of the damage. Evasion mitigates all the damage. So having the ability to mitigate damage constantly, to remove that threat from the enemy, is very important. Not to mention, we also have the ability to revive with this team, because we have Goku and we have Vegeta, the two 6th anniversary units that brought the revive mechanic. So overall, honestly speaking, the team does more than fine. There's not really anything too specific that I didn't really like about the team. We lack a bit of a tank on the 2nd slot, which will be corrected with the ESBR run in future. But all in all, I think for the most part it was actually fairly consistent and fairly straightforward in terms of team design and philosophy. Once the team got going, once everyone fired their super attacks, there were very little situations where we would die. For example, you see us there taking 76,000. One thing we also don't really have, and you don't have this a lot on most Saiyan based teams, is healing. We actually lack quite a substantial amount of healing, and this is again because of the fact that, you know, we don't have healers in Saiyan based teams. Saiyan based teams generally don't have units with healing link skills. So in terms of the overall team build, we've got the MUI Goku, the LR from the 6th anniversary, who has 70% evasion and gains defense with every attack evaded. Very strong unit with high level of critting on their attacks, so they do tend to do a fair amount of damage. We then have the Int Vegeta, who's kind of the antithesis of Goku, who gains damage reduction with every single hit he takes. Both of them have active skills, both of them have revives, and this made them pretty nice choices for this stage overall. Then we're using the Int MUI Goku, a unit that stacks attack and defense. He starts off a little bit slow, but he has the nice emergency transformation ability, which will help us out if we get below 50% health. he'll turn into UI Goku, and that gives us a unit that also has 70% evasion, but also has guaranteed full evasion for 1 turn. And this could clutch us out a run. It could save us a lot of hassle, and really just make things a lot better for us. Then we have the Mastered Evolution Realm of the Gods lead in the form of SG, SS, Vegeta, and Goku, who also are a 30% lead for Pure Saiyans, which helps us out overall with stats. They're just paired up with any of the Super Saiyan Blue Vegetas that are applicable at each time. We have all 3 in our team. We have the physical one that creates physical orbs. We have the strength one that provides support. We mainly try to keep him on rotation as much as possible. And then we have the blue one that just does a lot of damage. And that's pretty much it. There's not too much else with the team build that's too noticeable. As you can see here, obviously there's always that chance to take supers, which is always not very appealing. But in general, our team does a great job. And with the level of damage that we have, we manage to always take out the enemy, which helps us out a lot. Taking out 1 or 2 enemies in each phase really helps in this stage environment where you're fighting so many. It just really makes such a big difference, and I think that's so important when you look at team build and team design. So yeah, Vegeta does a great job. Goku also does an exquisite job. We don't ever see their revive skills, which is fortunate. We also don't see their active skills, which is a bit unfortunate. We have the Vegetas, who do a great job as well. We do stun the TN here. Main reason being is a chance of a strength super attack would have given us some issues. But yeah, in general, we honestly just have a very good time. I personally think this SBR is obviously much easier now than it used to be, but it still is fairly challenging. The multiple enemies being different types will never not be a challenge for the vast majority of content because of how many problems that will always cause players in general. You're always going to have problems if you catch type disadvantage supers, even with some of the more current units. Without healing and things like that when you're going for a no item run, it is something that always gives you issues. So that is obviously something to bring to your attention. But yeah, in general, it's a fairly straightforward concept. I think it's fairly easy. And yeah, for the most part, I would say nowadays it has got a lot easier to no item this because of the sheer strength of the units that are involved. But beyond that, we didn't have too many other problems, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Obviously, we're almost done with the first 20 SBR, so we'll switch the no item runs to the Fighting Legend Goku event, and then we'll switch back the no or the free-to-play runs to the next round of SBR, and then eventually into the ESBR. And we'll start switching things up from there and kind of just being a bit more organic with the shifting between events, so that there's a little bit of variety and everything like that. But yeah, in general, I hope you are enjoying. Even though some of these are older stages, I still think it's quite fun to go take a look and just see how the game has progressed. It's kind of like an interesting way of seeing how much easier the game is now. Or not the game, but how much easier some content is now compared to when we first took it on with units that we had available at the time. But yeah, that is going to be it from me. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to leave a like, and I will see you guys in the next video. But until then, as always, please take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. But until then, bye.